look, I can't shake this cold off. I woke up the other night shaking. And he said, oh, virus. Right. So,
which isn't scary at all, because
well, there's some dodgy virus, isn't
well,
there?
yeah, but there's some...
That's what I'm saying, so...
of course it's a virus. Yeah. What else would it be?
I don't know. Not a doctor. So I said, oh, when's it going to go? And he said, oh, might be 2 weeks, this one. Seems like a bad one. Quite clammy, he said. So I said, yeah, I feel a bit clammy, yeah. And he said, yeah, you will do. So anyway, so I felt happy about that, and I'm more confident with the doctor, because, you know, you've got your vest off and all that, so you think, why not just let him do a bit of a body check? So I said, doctor, whilst I'm here, I think I've got some eczema on my leg. And he goes, let's have a look. And I said, there it is there. And he said, that's not eczema. So you've got a touch of ringworm. Right? So straight away, anything with a worm in it, you're going, you know what?
Yeah.
It makes it sound worse, doesn't it? I was thinking like tapeworm and stuff.
Yeah.
So he's going, yeah, ringworm, and he saw me panic, and he went, don't worry.
You pictured a worm with a giant mechanical arm crawling up your back.
You could see by my face was a little bit like, I've got a worm in my leg. He's going, don't worry, it's not a worm. And I said, how have I got that then? And I reckon it's from this bear suit.
It wasn't. It was. Well, it was.
It's a little bit weird that I had bare boots on. I had bare boots on, and where the bare boot was, I ended up with ringworm on my leg.
Do you know why it's where it was? Because the only bit of your leg showing, because you had bare boots on, fake fur, with a fake fur tunic, and the only bit showing was your shin. You were walking around in long grass. You got it from the grass.
Well, no, because I said to him, because I wanted to hear the words bear suit from him. I said, where
what's the chances of that?
Yeah.
I said, where...
Doctor, what might I got this from? And then you just shut up and waited for him to say bear suit.
I said, it's a little bit weird, isn't it? I said, I thought that died out with rickets, right? Because I'd never heard of ringworm since I was a kid. I remember some dirty kid had it at school, and my mum sort of said, don't go near him. So I said, ringworm then, doctor. Where have I got that from? Thinking he'd say...
Have you been wearing a bear suit?
Yeah. Anyway, he said, well, he says gay people get it.
What? Yeah. No, he didn't.
He did.
Why did he say that to you?
Well, this is what he said. He said gay people. I said, right, tick that off. He said wrestlers.
Why do wrestlers get it?
And I said, I don't understand the connection. I said, I don't know, any gays. I don't know any wrestlers. And he went, well, it's the body, skin rubbing.
Well, why do only gay people get it then? Why don't heterosexual people get it?
Don't know. Didn't quiz him. But then he said, what about...
Did the doctor really say to you, gay people get it?
He might have said, like, homosexuals.
Does this doctor operate from a park bench somewhere?
Sorry!
Does he have a lot of carrier bags with him?
Why would his first thing be ringworm, gay people get it?
So yeah, I said not gay. No, I said I don't know any wrestlers. That's a fact. And then he said, have you stroked any bald pets?
Any bald pets?
Bald. He said, have you stroked anything with hair missing? Bald.
Just yourself?
And I said, I can't remember.
Like wrestlers get it. Wink. Do they? Yeah. You stroked the little bald hairless thing? No, doctor. Okay, gay people get it. Look, are you gay? Are you gay? I'm gay. I want to stroke some bald.
So I didn't want to get into the bear suit thing, because then he'd be thinking, what's he doing?
No, you've got it.
So what? Wait. So he had a list of reasons. He's reading this off a list, was he?
No, he did it from his head. He knew it already. He didn't have to look at a form or anything. He went ringworm. He's obviously had a few people in there who have had it, and they've gone ringworm. That's a bit weird. Where have I got that from? And he knew straight away.
So he's had 3 people in there with ringworm. One of them was a wrestler. One of them had a shaved dog, and one of them was a homosexualist. Is this the same doctor who
told me that my nerves were too short for my body?
Yeah,
different fella. So yeah, ringworm I got from my time in Boston.
Well, that was a heck of a story. I'm beginning to wonder if the reason Suzanne didn't go with you on that trip was not to do with work obligations.
Your iPod, you've downloaded it, maybe?
It's a test transmission.
Yeah.
Oh, it is a test transmission. Testing. Yeah. If you're hearing this, then it's working.
Who are you?
I'm Ricky Gervais. Who are you?
Steve Merchant.
Who's that little bald-headed mank twat chimp over there?
It's me, isn't it? Alright.
Yeah, well, we need your name, don't we?
Carl. Yes.
telling you, I was talking to you earlier about going to Vietnam, and I'm not good. I mean, although I like to travel, as you know, I like to go to exotic places. This is going to come as a surprise to you, Rick, but I do look very English when I'm abroad. I'm 6'7". I'm quite pasty and white, and I find it very hard to blend in with, say, Vietnamese people.
Sure.
But this time I thought I'd embrace this, and I've brought you something as to show you. It's not really going to be very helpful on the enemy radio, but I decided to wear a hat. I thought I'd buy a hat and wear a hat. And I thought that I bought this last minute as I was just before I got on the plane. I was doing some shopping. I thought I need to, because you think
it'd be something like from a Graham Greene novel,
right? Exactly.
They'd go, they call him the Englishman.
Exactly.
He's the wisest. Exactly.
Yeah, exactly. So I thought, because you can kind of reinvent yourself when you're abroad in some way, can't you?
Yeah.
And so this is the hat I got.
Christ.
Maybe you should look away for a second. I'll put it on, and then you can. Now, bear in mind, it is a bit battered because it's been in bags and stuff.
Sure. Steve, what are you thinking? Right.
No, it is a bit battered and damaged.
Right.
I admit.
Okay. How can I? Right. It looks like a cross between something Miss Marple would wear.
That's nonsense.
No, it does. It looks a bit like that. And there's a beer with a bloke drinking. What's that called? Moretti beer?
I think you're thinking of the Hofmeister bear.
No, I'm not. It looks like Miss Marple's hat.
It doesn't look like Miss Marple's hat. It's kind of moddy, isn't it?
It's not. It's a tweed thing that comes down that an old lady would wear.
Tweed.
It was a librarian lady would wear in the 1930s.
It's not tweed.
I have never seen it. That you didn't really buy that, did you, to wear?
I did.
No, you didn't.
Yes, I did.
Right. Can I take a picture of this and I'll put it on my website? Right, I am now taping this on a camcorder. I will put this up on rickygervais.com.
I disagree. I think this genuinely looks good. I think it makes me look a bit like, say, Tom Waits or Farmer Barlow. The point is this, right? I'm wearing the hat, I'm looking good, okay? But people, obviously, they can sense that I'm a moneyed tourist. They can see how good I look, and they know I've got a little bit of money in my pocket, can afford to buy hats, and everything. So obviously I'm always a target for people trying to get money from me, stuff like that, which is always a hassle, isn't it? And I find it very difficult tipping when I'm abroad. I don't really understand what the rules are with tipping, and that's a big anxiety for me. And also I have problems with the conversion, because obviously when you go abroad. So the Vietnamese dong. Come on, there's nothing funny about that. That's just what it's called, right? For $63 you can get 1 million dong, right? That's a lot of dong. So I'm packing like
a huge dong.
I got 2 million dong, in me money belt under my shirt. Right?
Yeah, so look at this image, right? You were wearing that hat and a bum bag.
Yes, but no, I don't have a bum bag. I have a money belt that I wear underneath the t-shirt.
Right.
So as not to see, so people don't think I've got any money on me, and if I get mugged, I can just go, I haven't got any money on me, because they would never think to look underneath the shirt and see the money belt, right?
Well, that's still out of reach, isn't it, over there?
Yeah, and they are actually looking up your t-shirt.
Well, it's funny you should say that, right? Because I went to a market at one point just to look at the things that were for sale there. There's lots of eels and lots of fish and lots of other interesting items, right? So I'm looking at the market, I'm taking some photos, and I noticed this, I hear this kind of murmur, right, that's going around the market, and then I start to see them, all the people in the market, sort of pointing, right, and staring and talking at something, right? So I'm looking around, trying to figure out what it is, right? And I realise they're looking and pointing at me. I genuinely swear to God, right? So they start, and then...
Did they think one of the big eels had escaped?
Well, they started laughing.
Oh no.
They started openly pointing and laughing. One of them, right, started, I think he was a postman. He looked like he might be a Vietnamese postman. I don't know why that should make any difference, but he started doing a sort of lumbering, sort of Frankenstein walk. And pointing at me, right? A whole section of them just started cackling with laughter. And then at one point, a woman in one of those sort of Vietnamese lampshade hats, right, she runs up behind me and she attaches to my back a sort of kick me thing that you would have attached to some nerd at school's back, right? She actually put something like that on my back. I don't realise initially, so they're just chortling. They are weeping by now, and I'm talking like the whole market is in hysterics. and old ladies are coming up to me and just comparing their heights and then giggling, and then I'm sort of trying to get this thing off my back so I look like a dog, chasing its tail, and I just realised that this entire marketplace was just openly laughing at me. And what angered me, Rick, was that I've spent a lot of time in this country, in the UK, right, building up a career, right, so that people don't laugh at me, right? They respect me. They see me as a man of great accomplishments and achievements.
Yeah.
I go to another country where
with that hat,
exactly,
walking around with those glasses with a little money belt on, maybe sandals with,
and it turns out that they're just laughing at me, just openly mocking and laughing at me, right? So I just genuinely, I got upset, and I got
You threw down your cagoule, left your clogs behind, and got on the first plane back.
I hopped in a rickshaw straight back to the hotel, where they do not laugh at me openly. But anyway, just to return to the dong issue, right? This was what worried me, was that obviously you got a tip. So we had a driver for a few days, right? And you got to leave him a tip. And I never feel a bit awkward. When do you give him the tip and everything? How does it work? And so I didn't know how much it should be. And I was thinking, well, it's a poor country. I've had a driver a couple of days. I haven't paid for the driver, so I give him like $20, right? Which is like 10 quid. I'm thinking that seems like a good tip. I get in there. I read in the guidebook. I should have only given him $2. I give him 20. Well, because you don't want to upset the precious equilibrium. You don't want to upset the financial equilibrium, because he might have gone berserk.
Yeah.
That's $20 is a lot to him. He might have left his family, bought a different, corrugated iron shack
What
somewhere
if he
else.
turned up with a hat like yours and said,
exactly, we're mates now, aren't we?
We're mates now. Let's go back to England.
Let's pick up some ladies. So I was a bit worried, so I was thinking of asking for the money, for some change, but I didn't think that was appropriate. So, but then I was worried, because then I was thinking, what if all the other drivers within his organisation find out that I've given him like $20? They're all going to be expecting a big tip.
Yeah.
So that was a big worry. But more than that, we'd also had a guide with us, so he was bound to find out how that is. Right, now I didn't have any dollars left, and I thought, well, I've given that guy 20. I got to give the guide who's been talking English to us, showing us around, helping us out. I got to give him
50.
even more. Right, I ended up giving him $1 million.
And how much is that?
$63. I tipped someone $1 million.
So he's a millionaire now.
Yeah, I made someone a millionaire through my generosity.
Well, so did I. He's sitting over there.
That's absolutely
But
right.
he doesn't want to give anything back. So I know how you feel, mate.
Old man, look at my life.
Neil Young, old man. Carl. Now, traditionally at the zoo they have to dart a dangerous animal, a lion or a gorilla or
After
whatever.
what?
They have to dart it,
Oh yeah.
right, to take blood samples and check its health and stuff. So it's very stressful for the animal and quite dangerous to give it an anaesthetic like that. So what they've started doing now, there's a bug, right, like a type of beetle, and it's a bloodsucker. It's a little vampire bug. Okay, it's about 3 centimeters long. What they do is they tie a piece of string around it. They let it go into the cage on the chimp. It sucks the chimp's blood without the chimp even knowing. They pull it back and they take the blood sample from it.
They've taught it to do that.
Well, they're not taught it to do anything. That's its nature. You put it near a warm-blooded mammal, it will suck its blood. So they've just tied a string to it so they can get it back.
And how often does it have to do that a day?
Well, I don't know. Why are these the important questions?
Just
Isn't that incredible that they've got this amazing symbiotic relationship with a bug? Because that's
is it
what
the same one? Safety's 8 chimps.
Oh, jeez, Carl, listen to me.
No, let him. I want to.
I'm just saying, if there's 8 chimps in there,
Yeah,
1 beetle.
yeah.
By about number 5, that's going to be sick of eating.
Well, then they probably have different beetles, and they let it. And Carl, I don't know why this is the.
I'll tell you why it annoys
the
me,
avenue
because
of questioning.
it annoys him.
the other concern is that beetle. It might be enjoying, getting the blood and what have you. What happens if one of them's got AIDS?
What, one of the
chimps? That's where it came from. So safety's.
Well, then they know, and they say, "Oh, this chimp's got AIDS. Let's."
And what about the beetle?
What, are you saying you're worried that the beetle will contract AIDS?
Well, I don't know if that's how it works, but all I'm saying is, you get a dirty chimp in there. It's got a touch of that, and the beetle gets it. And all I'm saying is, it seems a bit unfair.
What are you worried about the beetle? Working hard. It's eating what it's like.
This is the same as getting in foreigners to make cheap trainers. to me. They, let the beetle do what it wants. I mean, how long do they live? I read the other day about some elephant beetle. They get about 4 months.
Right.
What do you think of this, right? This elephant beetle in the paper the other day.
Yeah.
About the size of a gerbil.
Right.
Massive. Odd looking thing.
Mm.
The bigger, the uglier it is.
Why are you looking at me?
No. In a way, that is the way it works, isn't it? I think size is a big deal, isn't it? In a way, because
This is interesting.
well, we better being smaller, aren't we?
Well, it depends.
What do you mean?
Well, no, if you're afloat in the Atlantic Ocean and it's 4 degrees centigrade, it'd be better to be fat.
I didn't really mean like that. I just meant in terms of like Steve. I've mentioned he's taller than us.
Yeah.
He's always ill.
Well, that's nothing to do with his height.
I just think bigger people. It's like that Zhang Lung or whatever, the world's tallest man. He's always sneezing and that. He's always got something up with him because he's not meant to be that big. Small fellas, you never see a midget in a doctor's waiting room. They never get ill, do they? You never see one getting run over because they're too small, so you don't hit them. So it's. I think size. If you're too big,
You never see a midget in a doctor's waiting room.
so the
Well,
thing,
maybe they're there.
no, they're not. They're not. So what I'm saying to you is this beetle that's massive, size of a gerbil.
Yeah, but it's still. But a gerbil's small. What do you mean?
No, this is a big one.
This beetle is massive. It lives 4 months.
Lives 4 months. Been found in a banana crate. Right.
Right.
It's over here. They're upset for it because it's been in this banana crate for, it could be like 3 months. And the whole purpose of the elephant beetle is to have it away. That's all it wants in its life. It's only got 4 months and it loves having it away with another beetle. And it hasn't had it. So they found it in this crate and it looked distraught. They said it was showing all signs of like desperately wanting to have it away. It was
Well, when you can wank yourself to death with 6 legs, you leave anything alone for 3 months in a dark crate.
Just eating a load of bananas.
Yeah, eating bananas and whacking away
well, anyway,
6 times at exactly the same moment.
Its feet go apparently.
I bet it does.
What do you mean its feet go?
That's a sign. When they got it out, they were they got the experts in. They said, "What is this? We've got a beetle here the size of a gerbil." They said, "We'll come round." They had a look.
I said, well, how big's the gerbil?
That's just scientists HQ. There's a
Yeah. Right, you'll need a gerbil-sized box to bring that round in. Come round. Ring operator. Can I have people in charge of giant gerbil beetles? I'll put you through. Hello, gerbil beetle people. I think I've got one. Come round.
Anyway, its feet were going.
What do you mean its feet were going? Do you mean it was dancing like Lionel Blair, or it had bunions?
I haven't seen one, but
There's a surprise.
I just read that that they were saying, yeah, we know what's the problem here. Look at its legs go, and they go up and down a lot, and it means that it wants like a partner, dying for it. And they were saying they only live 4 months, and it looks about 3.5 months old. This one.
How did they tell that?
The problem is they haven't got any of these beetles here,
Right.
so they've had to, instead of flying it back out,
Yeah.
they've gone over there to try and find one to bring it back because of the stress and that it's had, and it's older.
Couldn't you put a gerbil in a beetle outfit?
Hang on a minute.
I don't mean a little wig holding a guitar.
But I don't know the full story in that. I just know that they found this beetle.
It just sounds unlikely that people would be this concerned about
do, I
one
agree.
beetle, and it's only got half a month left. It's got 2 weeks left. It's got to have some sex. We have got to give this beetle some sex because, god damn it, it's a beetle. What was found on a boat with some bananas?
I
It
don't know
deserves
why-
sex before it dies.
I don't know why he cares more than a blood-sucking beetle than a chimpanzee.
I just can't
suddenly.
believe people are flying out to Japan. Or
Why
where
do
they
you
come
care
from.
so much about beetles all of a sudden?
only because they were mentioned, and I just thought, whilst we're on the beetle tip, let's discuss them.
What do you mean his legs were going as well?
That's what they do. That shows signs of like it needs a woman. It's never had one before, which is weird. That's what I was going to say. It knew even though it didn't. And you're talking about my brain and my ears and all that. There's an example of how the beetle's not in charge. There's something else going on in its
Well, that's
body.
called instinct.
Yeah,
But that's true in a beetle, but it shouldn't be true in a human being.
but it is though, isn't it? Otherwise, how did the first baby survive? How are we here now? Because you look at babies and they're spoilt rotten. I'm sick of it the way they don't do anything for ages. They wouldn't survive. A kangaroo comes out, it's hopping around in about 2 hours. Babies, they sit there for months.
So there's a very good reason for that. I've told you that.
It needs its mother. If that was in a banana crate, it would have given up after about a week. What I'm saying
a couple
is,
of days. It would have died in a couple of days, probably.
yeah. Whereas this beetle, he didn't know the outcome. He didn't know if he's ever going to see this partner. Yet, even though he's been in this crate with bananas for 3.5 months, it still wants to have it away. Now, if I was that, I'd be like, I'm not in the mood anyway.
Why do you equate yourself with the beetle?